Stopping in, we been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. It's a steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight. Stopping in, we been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. It's a steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight.
You just press pause. You don't have to exit out of it, right? Does our intro have the same melody as a Vicky got the stiffy on? Because like as you were doing the beat, I was like, why does this sound so familiar? Like, is it the same melody?
No. He who shall remain nameless will never be compared to anything that we are doing.
The king rat. Anyways, welcome to part 2 of episode 72 of the Heavyweight Bros. We are jumping into Popcorn Papi. Don't stop, pop that. We got 3 movies on the deck. We got the movie Missing, we have Plane, and we have the new House Party remake. 2 of those movies we actually saw together. Somebody did their homework, decided to come out the house a little bit. You know, say we had a little vacation week.
And I bought the snacks. And I bought the snacks.
I bought the ticket. I mean, like, and I stole some snacks.
No pizza available.
they know better. They see like when I'm buying these tickets, and they stop for pizza at that time. So I guess we can start with the one that I saw that you didn't see.
Okay.
So
I missed it.
You just couldn't let bygones be bygones. Just sit this one up. How about you look up the stats for this movie while I start going through it? Because there's a lot of characters like I don't know their names in this movie. The first movie that I saw was a movie called Missing, who stars the younger sister from Euphoria,
Storm Reed,
and her mother,
Nia Long, goes on a trip with her boyfriend Juntao, also known as King Lu. He
was Juntao from Rush Hour. They go on vacation to Spain, and while they're on their trip, they don't wind up making it back. So her mother goes missing, and the whole movie is Storm Reed she feels like the police have given up on the search for her mother, so she's doing everything in her power to try to figure out what happened. And this movie has there's a lot of things happening.
Emotional roller coaster?
I wouldn't say it's an emotional roller coaster. It's a plot roller coaster. Like, there's a lot going on.
You're all over the place?
It's very all over the place. So
it's not a good thing.
So it's not the best thing. So this is another one of those movies. I can't remember what the first movie was called, but it starred Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Okay.
And it's like one of those movies that takes place completely on a computer screen, or it's through screens.
Okay.
So like every time that she talks on the phone or she texts or anything, we're seeing her on her computer, talking on her MacBook, all this other stuff, whatever. Anytime she's like talking to anybody, and then like there's even a point in time where she leaves the house, and it's like we always see it from the viewpoint of like a security camera or things of that nature as well. I don't think it's the best form of storytelling. It is pretty rough. Like, I get it, where it's just like, one, it's a device, and 2, it's like we're getting into the new age, and like this is how kids talk. It's like, I don't think they talk on their computers that much. Like, if my friend texts me and I'm on the computer and it pops up on here, it's like, yeah, it's easy to do that, and like maybe FaceTiming and stuff like that. But like for the most part, I'm not just sitting on here all day long. Like I'm probably on my phone more than I'm on the computer, and like she's just on it like all the time. Like I can't even begin to go through like all the ups and downs of this plot. It's just like that's the basis of it. Is it a satisfying conclusion at the end of this movie? I don't think so. It's very hallmarky. And like the way that it's like these things would not happen in real life. I guess like that's the best way that I could put it.
Okay.
It's also very hard to be an actress and constantly be acting at a computer screen. Because it's like, there's certain things like emotions that she's trying to convey, and it's like, it's hard to get some of these things down. Like some of these things, like you need to be in a room with another person, and it's like you work off of that person.
Right.
And it's like we really don't get that until towards like the very, very end of the movie. Hallmark is the wrong type of movie I meant to say. I meant to say Lifetime. Because Lifetime movies are the ones where it's like, how did we get here? Somebody's a murderer. It's very much like You or something like that, where it's like, how the hell did we get here? But I will say it is interesting, at least. Like, it's like, all right, if this is the ride that we're on, I guess I'm on it. And it's like, oh, I did not see us taking this turn. Didn't see us taking this turn. Didn't see us taking this turn. But here we are.
How was the acting?
Like I said, she's fine, but like she's kind of just acting by herself. Or like when she's talking on the phone to like the person that works at the embassy, and it's like they're on the phone like, we're looking for your mother and we're gonna try to find her, and like, you know, all this other stuff. And then it's like, but it also like the legal ramifications of certain things that just don't make like sense. So like for instance, they're missing. So it's like, how do we find them? We have to track their phone data. So she winds up finding out their Gmail passwords and like hacks into their Gmail, and then like, yo, well, these were their last locations. They were like, yeah, but you're not allowed to go on their stuff. And like, does it matter if I'm allowed to go on their stuff if like I'm literally finding the location of like where my mom is?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? There's like a lot of these.
I don't care what
like,
you're
holes
saying.
that these
I'm
have to
looking
jump
for
through.
my mom, fam.
There's so many things like that. And then they tell them, they're like, hey, like, listen, if you want us to go through this in court, you have to stop what you're doing. Because, like, you legally, like, we wouldn't be able to prove any of this stuff in court because, like, you obtained this information illegally. And she says so. She's like, I don't give a shit as long as my mom is home and healthy.
Right.
Like, I don't care about,
Right.
like, if this other person goes to jail or, like, so on and so forth. Like, all this other stuff happens. I just want my mom home.
Right. That is beyond the point.
But then it's
Quality
also
of life.
It's also like the social media aspect of it, because like it winds up becoming like a national headline because like, you know, she starts to spread the information and she starts to do like all this other stuff or whatever. So then it becomes like this media firestorm. Like they're on the cover of like People magazine, and like people are talking about them on like talk shows, and it's like, you know, she's watching the talk shows where people are just like, you know, bashing them for them, like, you know what, I think that they did this for insurance purposes because of mom, like, you know what I mean? So like, and then like, you know, like she's a kid, I think she's 18 at the time, so like she feels some sort of way about that, like, you know what I mean?
There's always an idiot.
Yeah, there's a lot of like that type of stuff. It's like, I don't even think this whole story is real. Like, I think it is. Like, and no, you know what? I heard the daughter's not even the daughter, and like she's from an affair. And,
The
like, all
mom's
this
been cloned.
yeah, like there's a bunch of stuff like that. If I had to put this on the nasty scale, I think it's between $5 Tuesday and Stream It.
Okay.
I think it falls in the Stream It category.
Okay.
Like, I think if you're already paying for your service and it comes on, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I could check this one out, and it's probably like right around that level. But if I had to pay my money to go see it, like, I don't think it's worth it.
Okay.
I mean, it's just very okay.
Sorry to hear that.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just very okay. It's a very mediocre movie.
Okay.
But I could definitely see some people getting super into it.
Okay. All right. You want to move on to the next one, or you got more?
Yeah, we can move on to the house party joint, right?
I thought we were gonna go plane.
Okay, we can go play.
All right. Trash.
That's how you're starting? Like,
No. I'm sorry. I won't start off like that. Hot trash. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So it wasn't a terrible movie.
are you gonna tell me what the movie is?
Yes, I'm gonna get to it. It wasn't a terrible movie, but I don't believe it was a good movie either.
Okay.
But it stars a homie from Luke Cage.
Michael Coulter.
Yep. And I believe the dude who played Gladiator, right? No. He was in the movie where he's saving the president.
He is from White House Down.
White House Down. Yes. His
That's
name.
Leonidas from 300, bro. That's Gerard Butler.
Is that Leonidas?
Yeah.
You know, the beards and everything. Like, yeah. Everybody could be anybody.
Big Dick Nick from Den of Thieves.
Oh, he was in Den of Thieves. That's right.
cop.
Yep, definitely. He's the cop in Den of Thieves. So yes, definitely. So the premise of the movie is Luke Cage is actually a fugitive, and he's being
He's
transported.
not a fugitive. He's a prisoner.
Well, he was a
fugitive implies-
fugitive, and he got caught. And
He's just being transferred.
yeah. Well, no, he wasn't a prisoner.
He was already
He
did like
was
15
he
years
was
in jail.
on the run. I thought he was on the run, and they caught
To be
him.
honest, it doesn't really matter.
Right. Either way, he's in custody, and they're transporting him on a plane. And
Hence the title, Plane.
And old boy from Den of Thieves is the
Gerard Butler.
pilot. There's several different other people on the plane as well. They're flying through.
I think they're trying to get to Tokyo.
They're trying to get to. Is it Tokyo?
So Tokyo or Hong Kong, they're going to one of those.
Yes. And during that trip, they hit some unforeseen weather. Well, not unforeseen because they knew the weather was there. He wanted to chart around it. The guy told him not to. They tried to go through it, and ultimately they lost power to the plane.
It was the opposite. Gerard Butler didn't want to go through the storm, and the guy told him you had to go through it. Right. He was like, yo, shut up and do what we told you.
Right. So they end up getting struck by lightning. They lose power to the plane. They land on this remote island in the Philippines. Yeah, in the Philippines. And it's a habited island, but it's uninhabited by any form of law enforcement. So there's basically anything that you could do illegally for profit is happening on this island.
And it was run by James St. Palomalu. Did you forget about that guy?
No, I didn't.
This brother is a mixture of Troy Palomalu and James St. Patrick. Ghost.
Like, bro, like everybody on the island looks mad grungy and mad gritty. This man comes around the corner like he's in a Head and Shoulders commercial.
Luxurious
slides.
Like Jesus of Nazareth.
Definitely looks like James St. Palomalu. That's the best comparison ever. But basically,
they're pirates.
They're pirates. They want anything that's on the plane. They also want the survivors from the plane because the pilot was able to land the plane safely and successfully without any deaths. Well, I won't ruin the movie. So he landed the plane and quality of life for most of the passengers were there. So James St. Palomalu not only wants to raid the plane for all his goods, but he also wants to hold the survivors hostage in order to get some type of ransom from whatever their families are. And they're all from different countries and different nationalities, so they figure they could get currency for people to get their family members back from all different type of routes. And Luke Cage and Den of Thieves decides...
Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler.
Jimmy Butler. Gerard Butler. So what's Luke Cage's name?
Michael Coulter.
But
he's Luke Cage, bro. Like that would be like if we saw something and Thor was in it. Like it's like it was Thor's.
Right.
But you're like cop from Den of Thieves. Right. Like, it's Gerard Butler.
So
he's a big enough name.
Gerard Butler and Luke Cage decide that they're gonna team up to find some type of resource on the island to communicate back to headquarters or whatever you want to call it about where their landing site was so that they can get help. And in that time, they find out that there are people inhabiting the island that do not mean well for them, and they kind of team up to start fighting against this group of thieves to make sure that they can not only
den of thieves.
Right, to not only keep themselves safe but the passengers as well. And then you go throughout the movie of Gerard Butler.
Wow! Are you about to get super spoilery into it?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm going to say this one last thing and then we can go. Gerard Butler goes throughout the rest of the movie taking credit for anything and everything that he did not successfully plan or navigate. like the brother was the success story of this movie, which was surprising to me. But everything that he came up with was taking credit by Gerard Butler at every single corner. And even when it wasn't him and it was somebody else, he was like, oh yeah, I got this done too. Like, no, you did not.
Let's give our ratings on this movie.
Okay.
And then we'll we'll get spoilery, and then stuff like that. So, like, where would you rate it on your scale?
I would watch this on my phone at work.
So you're barely watching this?
Yes.
I think it falls into the range of also streaming and $5 Tuesday.
Yes.
It's tough. Like, I didn't mind giving my money to it because it is one of those I could turn my brain off and just watch this. And, like, we started to get real talkative towards the end of that movie. And it was like that level of engagement, I guess, was one thing.
And this guy hates when people talk during the movie. And the fact that he was bantering back and forth with me during the movie, I was like, oh yeah, he's just as uninterested as I.
I'm gonna say it should be on streaming, but if it was on streaming, it'd probably be one of the top streaming movies.
Yes.
On there, so like, I don't think it's $5 Tuesday worthy. I think it's that level below.
Yes.
And it would go. You would catch it on streaming.
Yes.
I'm already paying for Netflix, so I don't mind watching this movie.
Yes.
Because it's like I'm not actually giving you my $10 to watch this.
Right.
From here on out, we'll get spoilery. So if you want to skip ahead, go to the timestamp, and you can go to here, listen to our house party review. But from here on out, we are talking spoilery.
Bodies. Yo, this man Luke Cage was dropping bodies like flies, and this man Gerard Butler was struggling with one kill.
He's killed like 2 or 3 people.
Yes. For every one person that Gerard Butler killed, Luke Cage killed 5. Yeah. He's just like letting them go. One homie he brought into the woods, like, yeah, we can't make sure you find him. He just goes in the woods. All you hear is pat, pat. He comes walking back out and looks Gerard Butler in the eyes like, somebody had to do it. Yeah. That's not what he said, but that's that look like, you wasn't going to do it.
Nigga, you crazy?
You wasn't going to do it?
He said we got the information we need out of him. He could go.
Right.
And
right.
said,
right.
Let me talk to him for a second.
So ultimately, St. Patrick Palomalu ends up kidnapping all the rest of the passengers. All the rest of the surviving passengers. He records videos that he's going to send out as ransom letters to try to get money. And Luke Cage and Gerard Butler proceed to go into the campsite to free the hostages and also combat the people who have kidnapped them. But their plan is not to combat them. They're trying to do it as least as possible. Luke Cage is former military, so he's like creeping up on people, stabbing them, slicing their neck, hitting people with hammers across their chest and silencing their sternum and every bit of soul that was left in their body.
Like, this man John Henry?
Yeah, listen, he definitely John Henry that man right across his sternum, and I was just like, dang.
I just wonder. So, I'm trying to think of like what's the point in this movie when we began to stop taking it seriously. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a point where I was just like, fuck it. I was like, we're talking through this movie, we're doing this. I was like, it's not worth it to tell him to stop talking for the most part.
Right. I think it's when I first saw John St. Patrick Palomalu. When I saw him, I was just like, this is the villain? Come on, man. This brother looks squeaky clean.
He's so beautiful.
Right. He doesn't even look like a bad guy. He looks like he's very well kept.
Right. But I feel like the movie itself isn't bad. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like it has like a pretty decent premise. It follows a pretty simple plot.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's the things that happen along. It's like the nuances of the movie that make it annoying. Mm-hmm. And it is like you say, where it's just like Gerard Butler is supposed to be the hero of this movie.
Right.
And for most of the chunk of the movie, like once they free Luke Cage,
right, and
like he starts doing like the things that he does, it's like Luke Cage is the hero of this movie. Why do we keep talking to Gerard Butler?
He's the man.
Why do we keep talking? Like at any point in time, they're trying to devise a plan. Gerard Butler comes up with a plan. Luke Cage says that's a stupid plan. They do Gerard Butler's plan. It goes wrong. Luke Cage saves him.
He cleans it up.
And then he saves him. And like at the end of the day, everybody gets home safe because of Luke Cage.
Yes.
And we don't get any resolution to like, well, what happened to Luke Cage after this?
Nope.
Because that's the thing that we care about. When we find out what happens to Gerard Butler, we didn't give a shit what happened to Gerard Butler at the end of this movie.
I'm like, I even stayed like, they better come back on screen and show me what happened to Luke Cage. Never did. I was like, you guys are terrible for this.
I thought they were going to kill him. And that's what was going to make me more mad. Or he was going to sacrifice himself for the white people on the plane.
Right.
Because there were some trash people on this plane.
Right. Nah, that brother, they literally allowed him to do in the movie what any one of us would have did as a person in his situation.
Okay, I was like, be careful. I thought you were talking about a very specific event. That's the only reason why I was like, be careful.
All I'm saying is like, if I'm in his shoes and I'm thinking about realistically, if I'm getting through this is the decision that I'm making. I'm hoping that I get away with it. And that's exactly what he did. And he got away with it. So I was happy because I was like, that's exactly what I would have did. I mean,
I wouldn't have went back for none of the people on the plane. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
I mean, he secured the bag.
Literally.
He secured the bag.
Next to SEAL Team 6.
Right. Just like, I don't even know what an airport is doing with like a mercenary on-call unit where they just literally landed into the island and just proceeded to murk people and help.
I actually found that part to be one of the most interesting parts of the movie. Mm-hmm. Is like the guy that comes in and he's like, listen, where's our team that's on this and who's on this and who's calling this?
Yeah.
And then it's like,
I feel like he was like a bootleg Matthew McConaughey.
Jesus Christ. You could not have fumbled that name more times, more difficultly in the span of 10 seconds.
Yo.
Try it again.
Nope.
Matthew McConaughey.
There you go. That guy.
Try it.
Matthew McConaughey.
It was there.
Yeah, I had to.
All right.
You're right. Yeah. I feel like he should have been the guy in there because that's what the dude tried to come in like, no, we're gonna do this. I don't care what you say.
The dude's like, oh, like we can't do this, and he's like, you realize that these people are about to die. Like, people are about to like no longer fly this airline
because you wanted to save $12,000 worth of gas.
Yeah, some dumb stuff.
Right.
He's like, yo, who's our meteorologist? The guy who sent them into the store. He's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be fired, bro, but you're gonna stick around now.
Word. I need you for now, but not later.
Yeah, 'cause you will be the scapegoat to this.
Pack your bags.
Is there anything more that we need to say about this movie?
No.
Let's move on to House Party.
All right.
We're at House Party.
House Party. Go ahead. You start. I'll look up the cast.
All right. So, for the most part, it's a pretty newer cast of characters, actor-wise. I couldn't even tell you the two guys' names. Like, we'll just call them Kid and Play, even though they're not Kid and Play. Mm-hmm. But they're pretty much two guys from California who are known for throwing parties. I guess they're professional party throwers. One of them is like a little bit more straight-laced. That's going to be our kid. He has a baby. He's trying to get enough money to move out of his mom's house. He's trying to, pay for his daughter to go to school, things of that nature. They work for a cleaning service for their main job, and then they do host parties.
Ready for names?
For the side. Give me the name of the kid who's like, kid.
Jacob Latimer. His name's Kevin.
Kevin.
Yes.
Jacob Lattimore. I feel like I know that name too.
He's from The Chi.
He's definitely from The Chi. Mm-hmm. And then the other kid Play is
Towson Cole, who plays Damon.
Damon. Mm-hmm. Damn. Damon and Kevin.
Yes.
All right. Kevin, like I said, he's more on a straight and narrow, things of that nature. And then Damon is the more rambunctious. He's kind of like a party kid. He's really all about flossing and like being out there. Like he's on IG. He's always fake flexing. And he's doing stuff like that.
The friend that convinced you to do stuff that you really want to do, but you know you shouldn't do, but gives you a rationale on why you're doing that thing that you really wanted to do, but you shouldn't do.
Right. And while Kevin sees the party making thing as just a way to generate more money, Damon sees it as a way of like, this is who we're meant to be. Like, we should be hanging out with these stars, and we should be doing this, and we should be doing that, or whatever.
Do you want me to go through the cast real quick before you keep going? Okay, he said no.
So they go to work, and they find out that they are losing their job while they're in the middle of a job of cleaning a house. So they're trying to figure out a way that they could scramble and get this money that they need, because also the bullies in this movie are after Damon because apparently he's been moving pretty shiesty. He was dating one of the bullies' friends, and apparently he stole her chain, which he claims that he didn't. So, they're trying to come up with this and like, where can we get this money? Where can we get this money? And while they're trying to figure this out, Damon is cleaning and he's going to certain floors that he's not supposed to go to, and he comes to the realization that they are in LeBron James's house. And they come and they get the bright idea, why don't we throw the party at LeBron's house? We have access to his iPad. We're going to invite all these famous people. We're going to upcharge at the door, and we'll make the money that we're supposed to be making tenfold, and we'll set ourselves up. So that's how we get to the point of House Party, and then obviously they have a house party.
Right.
That's the main of it. This movie has a ton of like black celebrities, definitely social media stars. Excuse me. You can go through the list if you want. In the role of the Martin Lawrence DJ character, we have none other.
DC Young Fly.
All right.
He plays Vic.
Yep.
We have, which I think is the best cameo of the entire movie.
The scene-sealing performance.
Kid Cudi.
Yes.
You have Andrew Santino, who plays Peter. I'm trying to think of what other movie he's been in.
He's the red-haired guy from Dave.
Yes, there you go.
He plays one of LeBron's neighbors who's a LeBron fan, but he has like a koala.
Yes.
That like runs into LeBron's yard, and he's like kind of like all up in their shit because like he knows that they're not really supposed to be there.
Right. You have Maya in here. You have Karen Abilum, I want to say, who plays Venus. I haven't really seen her in anything else, but she plays Jacob Lattimore's friend.
She is So I forgot because her name's V. They call her V.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like Shireen. She even wears kind of like an outfit that kind of looks like Shireen's in the house party situation.
It's his long-term friend who he clearly has feelings for.
Yes.
So like that's really what it comes down to.
You got Melvin Gregg, who plays Man Boy and Snowfall. You have Rotimi, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Who played the light-skinned bad dude in Power.
Dre?
Yes, he played Dre. Good job.
Yeah.
You got Alan Maldonado. I'm trying to think of what he was in recently.
But the main thing, like at this point, especially like in this movie, is that's who everybody is.
Right.
Hey, isn't that dude this dude from this thing? Isn't that this dude?
Right.
You're just doing that for the majority of this movie.
Right. So you got Lil Wayne, Snoop Dogg, Anthony Davis, Tristan Thompson, Big Sean, Lena Waithe, Carucci, Juvenile. You have an appearance from Walter Emanuel, none other than the original Black Ranger.
Which was an awesome cameo from him, too.
Awesome cameo. When that man said, yo, can I get a picture? Nah, man. I'm trying to get to these girls. You
can tell by my face that that's not what he said he was trying to get to.
Right. You had Hit Boy, Bill Bellamy. The list goes on. Like they made sure to fill it up. The one dude, he's not on here, but the one dude who be in all the videos doing this,
June Elite, ready to get it started.
He's just like literally on the dance floor, just doing this little dance move, and I'm just like, oh, look at this, look at this.
And then of course, if you were wondering if they were gonna be in it, Kid and Play,
Kid and Play were in it,
make an appearance in this movie.
Kid and Play were in it, and it was. So what I will say is that I was worried because when you do remakes that I believe are classics, especially from my era of growing up, you're always worried about them botching it. I hated the B2K house party joints. Like
IMX, immature, not B2K.
Trash. Whoever it was terrible. So when this was coming out, I was really concerned.
There's 4 house parties before this one?
Yes. I was.
Because we have regular, obviously, house party.
Yep.
We got the Pajama Jam.
Yep.
Immature is 3 or 4?
4 maybe.
Okay, so then what was 3?
I would have to look it up.
Then don't bother. Don't bother. Right. It's not worth it. But it's just like the house party franchise in itself is shooting 50-50.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like that was like my whole thing. And I was like, if this is bad, this is just another bad house party.
Right. It was not bad.
It was very, very okay.
And it was entertaining, and it was better. I don't want to say it was better than I expected it to be, because I didn't expect it to be trash. I was hopeful that it wouldn't be, and it was not, and I was happy that they did not ruin the movie. And I could, if there was a sequel to this, I would go see it.
So where would you put it on? Where would you put it on your rankings?
I would watch it on TV. I would watch it on TV with the fam.
With the fam?
With the fam.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's funny. And LeBron's in it, so it's relatable to the kids.
Because that's a character you forgot to say is LeBron James is in this movie. And he also executive produced this movie.
Yes.
Because like my thoughts on it were, not only are we going to do a reboot, but we're not putting any real actors or anything behind it. So it's just like, it's a money grab. Like that's what I kind of looked at.
Jacob Lattimore is a real actor.
Is he? I'm like, is there a real character you can name that he's behind? Like, you know what I mean?
Bro, that man's on 4 seasons of The Chi, bro.
But yeah, but like The Chi is not a premier television show. Like it's up there. It's a good TV show. If we were using our rating, like The Chi would probably be a 6-man, maybe a starting 5, a fringe starter. Okay. Some might say.
Wow, so it's crazy too, because I'm looking like at his list, and the one thing that sticks out that I know is Gully.
He was in Gully?
He was in Collateral Beauty.
We're not talking about that. All right, so, but like what I'm saying is like,
Superfly.
But what I'm saying is like you're not putting any real actors behind it, and it's like that's usually a recipe for disaster. So like I didn't have the highest hopes for this movie. I was just like, man, I hope it's better than the IMX ones. It's like kind of like where I was at with it, and I wound up having a lot of fun with this movie. The main actors in it are not the best actors though. And like a lot of the scenes that don't have to actually do with the party were very tough to kind of get through.
Right.
Where it's like, them acting, because like there's also
get to the party.
Yeah, because like there is like the subplot of just the yo, you not really my friend, and like if you was really my boy, you'd be, and they're doing like all that stuff, and it's like they have their fallout, and then they get back together, and it's like a lot of that stuff did not work.
Yeah, I think they could have did better with the bullies too.
Yeah,
I
because
think Melvin Gregg saved the group.
absolutely.
Melvin Gregg saved the group.
Yeah, because it's like the Ratomi plays the "I think we're gonna catch, we kick his ass, tails kicking his ass," like you know what I mean. And then like Melvin Gregg is like what he does is like he just goes over the top of the threats. For them.
He's the one, and I should know these guys' name because they were full force.
Yeah.
But he would be the one with the white tank top with the Jerry curl that was like super aggressive.
Yeah, and they have to tone him down like, hey man, Joe, chill out, relax.
Yeah. Straight burning house.
So, I feel like from here on out we can get spoiler. I didn't give my take, so I think it falls.
Oh, and your boy had one leading role in the movie Slight. I think you've seen Slight before.
I have not, and it sounds like a Netflix movie, if I'm not mistaken.
It definitely was a Netflix movie.
It's kind of like what I'm getting at. Not really leading man material as of yet. I think it falls in the between Matinee and $5 Tuesday.
Okay.
And I think it's squarely in the $5 Tuesday bin. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the time that we spent with the movie, but it's just like it's not a movie like I would really care to see again, or I would tell people like, yo, you need to see this one, or like, oh shoot, like have you seen the new House Party? But if people ask me, I'd be like, oh, it's not that bad, and they'd be like, oh, like should I check it out? I'd be like, you can probably wait for it. You can wait, but it's like if you really need to see a movie today and you've seen everything else, it's like why not? You've seen worse. You see Plane. You know what I mean? I think it was very, very entertaining. So from this point now, I'm gonna get real spoilery into where we're talking about like our favorite scenes, stuff like that, or whatever. This movie, not only did they pay homage, like there's a lot of things that they did not just from old House Party movies, but just from older movies in general.
Yes.
Do you want to give an example? One of the big ones is when they finally get back together and they realize, and then they're gonna go and they're like, we're about to kill this party. They hit the however they own me.
Yes. The belly. Yes.
And they have the blue lights and everything. They do the belly intro.
That was tough.
And I didn't expect myself to like it as much as I did. Because as the song started, I was like, they're not about to do belly. And it's like they did it, and I was like, they actually did it a lot better than I thought they was gonna do it.
It was tough.
You were very vocally upset when they did the Kid and Play dance move on the dance floor. The
scene was so terrible.
The dance scene was not very good.
It was not good at all.
It had Tinashe in there.
Yeah, it was not good at all. So I was just like, okay, the dance scene isn't terrible, but if you do the move, it's going to officially be terrible for me. And not only did they do the move, they kind of half did it.
It wasn't the best.
It was like they rushed through it. It was just there was no anticipation to build up to it. Where it's like, oh, y'all dance, we dance, y'all dance, we dance. Then we're gonna go right into it. Just like kind of they just threw it in there. Like we got to make sure this is in there.
They're also just, like not great dancers themselves.
No,
because like that would have been an easier thing is like to get like them starting to do something and then get the actual social media dancer guys out there like, oh, move out the way, Youngblood.
Right.
And then if like it was a real like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like if we watched like the June Elite and then like Shiggy, for example, if they would have been there and they would have done it and it was an actual good dance battle, and then like they looked at each other and was like, we gotta hit him with the nuclear, and then they did it, then it would have been fire. Yeah, but it wasn't the best dance leading up to it.
That was an opportunity for them to make it their own, and they kind of just went. It's like, all right, we're just gonna copy this. And it wasn't good.
It wasn't a great copy paste. Even Tinashe, being a great dancer that she is, her dancing with the other girl, like you could tell she's not really a dancer.
Facts.
And then like after that part, she gives her a job as a backup dancer, and I was like, after that trash ass performance she just had.
You going to college? You about to quit college? For
Tinashe, ain't nobody even going to the shows, right?
Oh no, that's terrible. That's terrible. But yeah, so end all be all, LeBron shows up.
Yes.
Because he's supposed to be gone for 2 weeks.
Yes.
On a retreat for enlightenment.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in like India or something like that.
He comes back a week early, and they're like, what are you doing back anyway? You're supposed to be gone for a whole nother week. He was like, man, I reached enlightenment in a week. I'm the GOAT. I'm the effing GOAT.
Yeah. So LeBron swears a lot in this.
Yes, he does.
And I was like, is LeBron swearing because like LeBron doesn't get to swear a lot, or is he trying to appeal like, yo, I'm still a real nigga like back in the day? Like, is that like what LeBron's doing?
Yes.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Is that all right?
Yes.
But it's like I will say this: He's hilarious, bro.
He is hilarious.
LeBron is hilarious in the little bit that he's in his movie.
I mean, his commercials have always been hilarious.
Yeah, I've always thought LeBron, like, in any of his acting movies. He was in Trainwreck and stuff like that. I was
my two favorite commercials is the one where he plays mad different characters. He's like running in the pool. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
When he died.
Yeah, he died.
Yes. And then the ones where him and Kobe are the puppets.
Oh, yeah, but that's not him.
I know, but still, it's based on. I know he had to have some creative insight into that.
It's just Keenan and David Allen Greer, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
Well, I know Keenan is LeBron, and then I'm pretty sure David Allen Greer is Kobe.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. But so ultimately, the character who plays Damon was like, because LeBron's like, I'm gonna call the cops.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, let me play you for it. He was like, what you mean? He's like, if I play you, if I win, you let us go and keep the money that we made from the party. If I lose, you can call the cops. And I'm like, it's LeBron, bro. Like, what are you really doing right now?
The only reason that it's valid and like, because it sounds ridiculous as we're talking about it, but like they eventually did throw a pretty decent party.
Yep.
There's nothing but other famous people at this party.
Yep.
So like they're just kind of like, yo, like who really cares? Like they didn't, like they broke some stuff or like whatever. It's like, yo, play him. They're all high and drunk. And they're like, yeah, LeBron, play him. Come on, Bron, you got it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And the worst thing that happens is the freaking bullies steal his championship ring from Cleveland when they get into the crib and realize that it's LeBron's house, and then they have to go through this whole big ordeal to get a replica ring.
Which is actually one of the best scenes in the movie. It shouldn't have
Cudi
worked.
stole the movie.
It shouldn't have worked because like even as they're talking about, I was like, this sounds dumb.
Yes.
Like Kid Cudi's like, you know where we can get the ring from? The Illuminati.
Yes.
And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, the Illuminati. They get a copy of every ring.
Yes.
And so it's like, so like now the plan is to rob the Illuminati. I'm like, are we really about to do this at a house party? And they did it. And I was like, oh, this is actually really entertaining.
It worked, and that's where Kid and Play come in because they're at the Illuminati party, and Kid sneezes, and he goes, "God bless you," and they're like, and Kid Cudi goes, "Impossible!"
Kid Cudi is hysterical in this movie, bro.
Hilarious. Give this poem to LeBron. Only he can read it.
He goes, oh, what is this? Like some new bar? I said it's a fucking pool to LeBron. Like, he's going crazy, bro.
So yeah, David plays LeBron in 1-on-1. Of course, he shoots up the first shot. It's all money. I'm like, all right.
Hold on a second, because you're neglecting this one part about him playing LeBron 1-on-1.
Yes.
He changes into an outfit.
He looks like Sidney Dean from White Man Can't Jump. Yes.
They're trying to hit all of the Nike tropes, bro.
And that man shoots the jumper and holds it up there like Sidney Dean does in White Man Can't Jump. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're going to make this competitive, and then LeBron kills him.
LeBron busts his ass, man.
The only shot he made was that one first shot that he shot for ball. This man was laying on the ground. I was like, come on, LeBron. Just punish me. Treat me like one of your kids.
And he looks at him because he's like,
put me on punishment.
Yo, it's like, it's what, 9-0? It's like, and it's game to 11. Yes. It's like if he makes this shot, it's game. And he's like, please, LeBron. And he shoots it and then turns around and is like, I'm calling the fucking cops. I was like, oh, what? I was like, he goes to jail.
And then LeBron tries to have a Fresh Prince moment. Sits down at the piano and reads Kid Cudi's letter and then starts playing the piano. I'm like,
oh, but what song does he play? Because he plays a very, very, I think it's like Beethoven or something like that. He starts playing like, I don't know. LeBron was hilarious in this movie.
He was hilarious.
Like,
way better than Space Jam.
I feel like he's gonna get a lot of flack. Like people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's still a terrible actor," or whatever. I think it was really, he was solid for exactly what he needed to be.
Haters gonna hate.
For real.
Word.
I feel like all of the cameos in this movie, for the most part, did something to the point where it's like, oh, that was a worthy cameo. Like the Lena Waithe scene is pretty funny.
Yes.
For her and Gata from Dave.
Yes.
Was in there.
And the koala.
Yeah, the koala.
It was a koala there, right?
Koala.
Yes. It's hilarious. Maya did well.
There was a couple ones that were like the blink and you missed it. So like you did get whatchamacallit, Odell Beckham.
Yes.
Odell Beckham,
yes.
Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Were real quick.
Snoop
was real quick because he's just like at LeBron. He's like, yeah, come on, Ron.
Right.
You got to blame.
Snoop, what I tell you about smoking in the house? Yeah, go ahead, put that out, man. I can't even bring you that 6'4", I promise you. But yeah, man, I was entertained. Big Sean and Hit Boy had a quick scene.
But then they eventually come back in the end because we forgot is the Kevin character is also like a part-time producer.
Yes.
But apparently like people laughed him out the room by The scene where he's talking about, he's like, "This is why I don't make beats anymore."
Right.
And they show him in the studio. Somebody was like, "What the hell, y'all listen to?" He's like, "Y'all better get out here and sell some shoes and listen to his ass music." He's like, "What is this trash? If I made this, I'd kill myself." Like, dude's gone crazy. And he's just sitting there like, like he's killing them. But he plays one of his beats, and I think Juvenile raps over it.
Yes.
And Big Sean and Hit Boy hear it, and they wind up giving him like some sort of like a career boost. I can't remember what happened with the Damon kid that was like on the positive upswing. Like if he was just a party host or something like that. Did I miss it?
That man got out of jail and hopped in the car with Maya.
You got a point right there.
After that. No, that's what you have to do after that.
But House Party was pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it. It was pretty solid.
I enjoyed it.
But I mean, that's all we have.
That's all we got for movies.
Right. So that's it for Popcorn Poppy. We'll catch you guys at the playground, part 3.